Welcome to the 8th chapter of the book of Ezekiel, the second vision. And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, the 5th of the month. Now, I'm not exactly sure what that time is referring to because it doesn't say when or who, if it was a kingdom or if it was his life or the time that he was left Jerusalem. But anyway, it says, I was sitting in my house, and the elders of Judah were sitting down before me, and came upon me the hand of Adonai Kyriou. Now, it mentioned, I believe, in that where he was on the river Chebar going into Babylon with the captives, that he had a house. I'm exactly sure. I don't think this was in, it could be when he was still back in Judah, but wherever he was, probably was in Judah, because the elders of Judah were sitting down before me, and came upon me the hand. Here we have chiropractor, presbytery elders. We have the Presbyterians, the Presbyterian Church, which is led by the elders. And I beheld, and behold, a likeness of a andros, a man. Android comes from that, a man from his loin and unto below as fire, as waist on down, was as pyre, catacombs underneath the ground, the places where they buried people in Rome. Pyre, pyromania, all these derivatives in orange from and they correspond to our book English Derivatives from the Greek New Testament, which you can purchase on our bookstore, apostolicbible.com. And from his loin and above him, as the brightness, a vision of brightness, and as appearance of molten bronze. Well, you can add that to your English Derivatives book. Electru. We have electronics, or molten bronze. A likeness of a man, and this is the same as what he saw that was in the first chapter, the 25th verse, which we mentioned earlier. It corresponds to the man that John saw. They had the image of a man in the book of Revelation. And he stretched out a likeness of a hand, and he took me up by the decorative hem of my top. Now, I don't know how it is, if he had a coat on and at the top where his collar is, he grabbed him and lifted him up and took him up, and Spirit took me in between the earth and between the heaven, and led me unto Jerusalem in a vision of God. Well, now this could be the heavens. There's different heavens, and sometimes in the plural, 7 heavens, I think Paul mentioned. So the earth and between the outer space, and it's probably the heaven that we know on this earth, and the atmosphere maybe, because that's what they would have called it, because they were not flying. And he led me unto Jerusalem. So he's going through the air probably, and he gets to where Jerusalem was in a vision of God. So this is a vision. And to the thresholds of the inner gate, looking to the north, of which was the monument of the acquirer. Well, let's go into Jerusalem now. The inner gate, the thresholds of Jerusalem. So there's all these different gates. There's a dung gate and a corner gate. Exactly, if he's talking about a gate, here's going into the Temple Mount, the inner gate. Then there's a gate that goes into the temple itself. So exactly, that looks to the north. And so there's called a valley. That's a valley gate within the other gate. So there's all these different gates. And it was the monument of the acquirer, a stele. You can add that to the English Derivatives book, a stele, S-T-E-L-E, not S-T-E-E-L, which is hard, but a S-T-E-L-E is a stele. You see these a lot in cemeteries. They are monuments that stick almost straight up and slant inward slightly, and they can be any place from 6 to 20 feet tall. And there are a lot of steels, and there were monuments either that somebody died or some great thing that happened, a battle and so forth. They put these, they're one pieces of stone generally, and they had engravings in the stone on them. And here it says, I call it the monument of the acquirer or the borrower. Exactly what that is, don't know, but it was a place that I'm sure that the people knew that when he was writing this, they knew exactly what he was talking about and where it was. And behold, glory of the Lord of Israel was there, according to the vision which I beheld in the plain. So he saw it earlier, and now he's seeing the glory of the Lord God of Israel appearing again. The glory of God, of the God of Israel, appeared, I believe, he did appear with Moses in the tabernacle in the Holy of Holies, and people couldn't stay there because of the glory. And then I believe early in Solomon's temple, the glory of God came into it when it was first built. And here the glory of God he saw. And he said, that would be that man, the image of the man, to me, O son of Anthropu. Now, this is man also. Remember, the first one was andros. Android comes from that. That is a mailman. Not a mailman, but he is a man that is a male. And here, Anthropu is mankind, a son of man, mankind. Generally, we use the word man, but there are the differences. Look up with your eyes, ophthalmis, and I just went to the eye doctor yesterday, found out that the lenses that I need to get are like $285 for these lenses, polycarbonate lenses from the ophthalmologist, which comes from this word, or an optometrist. And look up with your eyes towards the Voron. We have the Aurora Borealis. The Borealis comes from the north, and northern lights. And I looked up with my eyes towards the Voron, and behold, from the Vorah, at the gate towards the east of the altar, was the image of jealousy. So now apparently we are into the temple area. Let's go back to that other picture. So now here is the different courtyards, and the courtyard of the women, the Gentiles, and different courtyards. Herod's temple was later constructed on top of this. So there's a gate going in here, and then inside is this building, which is portrayed in this picture here. So there would have been a gate out here somewhere to get into this area, and this is probably what he's talking about. It says, I looked up with my eyes towards the north, and behold, from the north, at the gate towards the east of the altar, was the image of jealousy. This was in the entering it. So apparently that image was set up someplace here when they came in, and there was an image of a jealousy, some type of image, three-dimensional probably, that was there towards the east of the altar. And he said to me, O son of Anthropu, do you see what these do? The great lawless deeds? Megalis. Mega is great. The great lawless deeds which the house of Israel does here, to keep at a distance from my holy places. So they're worshiping, bowing down to this image of jealousy, he calls it. There could be an image of some other thing of it, but he would call it an image of jealousy because God is jealous, doesn't want us to bow to other gods. So they're keeping the people to go to the holy place, or stopping there. And still you shall see greater lawless deeds. And he brought me unto the thresholds of the courtyard. And so now he's in the courtyard. And I saw, and behold, one opening in the wall, Now, I believe that he's probably talking about somehow an opening going underneath this wall and coming out into inside here somewhere. This is my guess. And he said to me, O son of man, anthropud, dig in the wall. And I dug in the wall, and behold, the door. So he's digging, and he comes down to this door, secret door, hidden door. And he said to me, well, enter and see the evil, lawless deeds which these do here. And I entered and saw, and behold, every likeness of a crawling thing, reptiles, and a beast, vain abominations, and all the idols of the house of Israel, being diagrammed. There's another word you can add to your English derivatives book as a diagramena, diagrammed, almost a transliteration, upon the wall, kiklo, a circle, kiklo, cyclone, round about holy. So there's all these horrible things being diagrammed, these other gods and idols and so forth. And 70 men, ebdomikonta, that's where we get the 70 men from out of the presbyteron of the house of Israel, the elders. And Eazonias, Otu Safan, was standing before their face. And Jazaniah, he was the son of Shaphan. And Shaphan was a scribe to Josiah the king, the good king, and received the scroll from Hilkiah, the Bible that was found when they were remodeling the temple at the time of Josiah. And Hilkiah brought the scroll to Shaphan, who then brought it in to Josiah. And this Shaphan, and this Jazaniah, his son, was a relative also of Gedaliah, the governor, who was these people are all sort of related one way or another. And so this Jazaniah, the son of this good man, was standing before their face. And each had his incense pan in his hand. So he had some kind of a little pan with a burning incense. And the vapor, atmis, we have atmosphere, comes from that. The vapor of the incense ascended. There was all this smoke going up, 70 men. And he said to me, you have seen, O son of Anthropu, what the presbytery of the Iku Israel do in the darkness, each of them in their hidden room. So they were doing this in the darkness and hiding from people. For they said, the Lord sees not, the Lord has abandoned the earth. So, but yet they still do it in secret. It's interesting how sin, a person that is an unbeliever or a atheist or so forth, but yet if he's committing a sin, going to burglarize somebody, steal something, all these terrible things, he does them so nobody can see. And now you might say, well, that's just because he doesn't want to get caught by other people. But how much of that has to do with their inward knowing that there is a God and somebody more that is watching than just the authorities? So they rationalize their behavior. God's abandoned the earth. And he said to me, still you will see greater lawless deeds than which these do. And he brought me unto the thresholds of the gate of the house of the Lord, looking towards the north. Now, that would, the gate, there's that gate there. It's the only one I would know, but I would think that would be facing east. I don't know which one is north. So I'm not, there is one there. It's a little gate there. I'm not sure if that's it or not. But a lot to study on these dimensions and everything. Well, I wait till we get to the last 10 chapters. And he brought me into the thresholds of the gate of the house of the Lord, looking towards the north. And behold, there were women. Women were sitting down, wailing Tammuz. Now, so it's probably not in the house itself. That there was someplace in that, probably up here in this area up here towards the north. I'm not exactly sure, but they were inside there, wailing Tammuz. Tammuz was a Sumerian god of fertility. You can go into Wikipedia and read all about it, but its name in the Wikipedia and history is Dumuzid. That's spelled D-U-M-U-Z, or Z, I guess people say I-D. Dumuzid. And there's actually a month on the Hebrew calendar named Tammuz. It's interesting how the calendars get these other people, and same thing with our calendar. I'm trying to think, it was February, March, April, May, June, July, August is August was Roman, September, October, November. Anyway, and he said to me, "You have seen, O son of Anthropu, and still you shall see greater practices than these." So now he's seen two terrible things. The women, they were bowing down to Tammuz, and the presbyteros, and now he's brought in. He brought me into the courtyard of the house of the Lord, the inner courtyard. So now we are in, I see, the inner courtyard, which would be in here somewhere. And upon the thresholds of the temple of the Lord, between the column porch and between the altar, were about 25 men. So between the altar, so there's the altar, and 25 men are out here, and the threshold of the temple would be there. 25 men with their posteriors, that is, their butts, behinds, towards the temple of the Lord. Instead of looking towards the temple, they have their butts facing the temple, and their faces before the east. And these, the 25, did obeisance according to the east to the sun. So they were worshiping, doing obeisance to the god of the sun, or another god towards the east, Babylonian god possibly. The Tammuz, not Tammuz, the earlier one. The Tammuz was a Sumerian god, so that would have been in that area to the east, so it could be the same. And he said to me, "You have seen, O son of Anthropu, is it a small," now we have the opposite of mega, we have micron, small. "Is it a small thing to the house of Judah to commit the lawless deeds which they have done here?" He said, "Nothing? They don't think about this? Wow. For they filled the land of lawlessness and returned to provoke me to anger." So they're by their deeds of causing lawlessness and provoking him to anger. I look at the things today, no temple being built, and all sorts of lawlessness in Israel, and provoking the Lord to anger, I'm sure. "And behold, these stretch out the vine branch as one's sneering." 8:17, you can go down here and see what I have. Well, it says see bows for variance. So that doesn't help anything, and I don't remember what it was. But the vine branch as one's sneering. Now, I don't know what that means. But it's something against God, basically. Their action, exactly what it is, I don't know, but you can tell that whatever they were doing was not pleasing God, the opposite. "And I shall deal with them with rage." So whatever they were doing, some type of a ritual possibly, that was something God couldn't take anymore. "I shall deal with them with rage. My eyes shall not spare, nor shall I show mercy. And should they call in my ears with a great voice, phony, a phone, even I will not listen to them. It's too late for these people. Not going to listen. Their history, and it continues then in chapter 9 with this man telling Ezekiel more things, but have to wait till the next video seminar in chapter 9, and I hope you'll join us with it. Exciting things, and God bless.